Hello, until now, I guess this is the setup. You're gonna have to excuse this, and also the fact that I'm probably mumbling because of the topic of today's video. I have just had my third round of Botox in my jaw to help my TMJD. I believe I have some videos on it. I'm sure you can find them on my channel. I'll link them in the description if I remember, which, let's be honest, I probably won't. If you're watching this, I'm going to assume that you're either going to have Botox treatment or you have already had it, or you are something along those lines. You are looking at having it, or maybe you're just being nosy. So I am not making this video to just tell you about all the good bits. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I'm not here to reassure you. I'm going to tell you exactly what it was like for me, the good bits and the bad bits, because I think that's the most fair way to do it, to be honest. But the main conclusion is that I'm glad that I have done it. I think it was worth it, but it was not comfortable. So I guess I'll start at the beginning. I don't have a particular plan for this, but essentially I was referred after a bunch of non-invasive treatments didn't work, so they did a bunch of therapy, which I've got opinions on, but I won't go into that now. A bunch of massage things, just sort of general non-invasive techniques, and it helped, but I was still on my painkillers, and my goal was to try and get off, or my goal was to half my painkillers. So they referred me to get Botox. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you will know what a pain that has been just to get to the hospital. So I had my last round of Botox yesterday, and it was a 9-hour round journey for a 17-minute appointment. But that's just a me problem. That's probably not going to happen to you. I first got referred to, I believe it was a dental department in an outpatient procedure hospital outside of Leeds. That's not relevant information particularly. But the first appointment was relatively straightforward. We went in, we talked about all of the symptoms that I've been having, where I've been having them, which side is worse. If you haven't already started to think about those things, which I imagine if you get headaches every day, you think about this a lot. But if you haven't, I would start to maybe try and pinpoint exactly where the pain starts, and where you feel it spreading out from, things like that, because they're going to ask you it. First appointment, they didn't do anything. They went through like a bunch of pre-procedure things. They told me basically what they were going to do, and they told me the risks. Now the risks that they told me about, again, I'm not trying to scare you off, but like maybe just look into it. I think the main risk was that I would end up reacting to the Botox, but obviously that's a risk with pretty much any medication that you take, and they also said that there was this really rare thing where if they inject the Botox in wrong, it can cause this like really dangerous reaction, but said it was very, very rare, talked me through all of that, had me sign some papers, and then told me they were getting in contact for my next appointment. My first appointment was the worst. By far, because I had a guy who didn't really know what he was doing. I later found out that it was his first time ever doing it, so I imagine this is going to be about as bad as it can get, because it was a guy who did not know what he was doing. I didn't particularly like him either. He wasn't a very nice guy. It was also my first time doing it, so I didn't know what to expect, but essentially we went into the room. They prepped all of the needles with all the Botox in it, and they confirmed what the last doctor had said. So what the last doctor had told me was that I was going to be having 4 injection sites, and you can actually see them because I can't take the pen off because I can't rub my face. More on that in a bit. So one here, and then I don't know if you'll be able to see these ones because they're right in my hairline, but the pen is still there. I don't know if you can see. Can you see the pen right there? And then it's the same on the other side, but the pen, it's right under my hairline, so you can't see it as well. So yeah, he confirmed that the pain was still in the same places, and then got me to grit my teeth and felt where the muscle was strongest, which I can't do right now, and marked it on with a bit of pen, and then did the injection. Now there was this first time around, I think there was 4. But no, he did more, I think. I think he might have done 6. So there was 4 sites, but I think he ended up doing 6 injections. So 2 here, and then 1 each here. Resulting in, I think it was 25 each cc of Botox. so 100 altogether. But he did 2 different injection sites here, like in the same, I can't see him doing it, so I'm not 100% sure, but it was like in the same muscle, but he did it twice, so he spread it out slightly, but not in these ones, just in these ones. And that happened in the other 2 appointments as well. So these ones at the bottom, these ones were okay. They are not comfortable by any means. You can feel the needle going in. It is quite a big needle. It is bigger than one that you'll have had for like a vaccine or anything like that, and you can feel it a lot more than something like that. You can feel it going, and because it's held there for a lot longer than a vaccine, it is more uncomfortable. Sorry, that's not related to the Botox, I'm getting over a cold. The needle was probably in my skin for less than 5 seconds. But it's just the fact that it's held there that makes it more uncomfortable than a normal injection. You can also feel the Botox move into your muscle. That is also quite uncomfortable. Now, the first time when I had this guy doing it, I don't know if it was just because I hadn't had it before, or if it's because he wasn't experienced in it, but essentially I could feel it spreading through my muscle, and I could feel it sitting there quite heavily afterwards. I could feel it in my face. Now this was the same for the bottom 2. Top 2, same feeling again, so the same feeling of the needle like being inside your skin and this like fluid spreading. But these ones were much worse because they're my temple. At least here it's there's like a muscle for it to go into. Here there is a muscle, but I don't want to freak you out, but you can feel it on like your bone. It's not very pleasant. I really don't want to freak people out, but I don't want to, like a lot of the things that I've seen online talking about this, people just go like, oh yeah, you'll be fine, it's absolutely fine, but you don't actually tell you what it is. Now, it's not pleasant. It doesn't hurt, but I got over it, and it was very, very quick. It was over in 2-3 minutes. It felt very strange, but it's not particularly painful. It was uncomfortable, but that's it. Once I'd done it, it was fine. It was much worse in my head than it was in real life. And as I said, if you can just, I was going to say like grit your teeth and bear it, but don't grit your teeth because that might make it worse. But yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's not very comfortable, but it is very short, and you'll get past it. Now afterwards is a completely different thing. You can still feel it in your face, so you will still feel the Botox in your face. For me, it was several days afterwards. Now for me, it was like this, like almost like putty feeling in my face, and it was really heavy. I can still feel it because I got it yesterday, but it got less so every time. And for me, the worst part was not being able to touch or rub my face for a few days afterwards. So you have to sleep on your back, which was definitely the worst part for me. You can't rub your face, which is very difficult for me because when I have a headache, my instinct is to rub the muscles. So when it hurts after you've had the injections, which like the injections themselves don't hurt, but for me they've triggered headaches because you're messing around with the muscles in my head, so of course they do. And my instinct is to like massage the muscles, but obviously you cannot do that because if you spread the Botox, it won't work. Basically you've moved it out of the muscle group that it's supposed to be in. It also means that I can't wash my face, hence why there is still pen on my face. I also can't wash my hair because my injection sites were here and I'd have to massage my head, which I can't do. Sleeping on my back is awful. I hate that. So for me, that is by far the worst part. You're also not allowed to do any strenuous exercise, which is not an issue for me at all. I also can't like, I can feel that when I'm like laughing or smiling, my face isn't moving properly. That'll wear off in a few days. For me, it got better every single time, wore off quicker every single time. Now that's the procedure out of the way. If you've got any questions about that, then let me know. But did it help? The first time it helped a little bit, not loads. I was able to come off my painkillers for maybe a week afterwards and then I was back on them, so it did a bit but not a lot. Second one helped a lot more. So in the second one I was able to pretty much halve my painkillers for a good few months after having it. Now I was supposed to have the third round 3 months after having the second round, however it ended up being closer to 6 months, and there was almost exactly a year between my first appointment and my third one. Sorry, my first treatment and my third one. Now the second one helped the most. The third one I can't tell you yet because I've had it yesterday. What it was explained to me as, and what has been my experience so far, is that the first time you get it, it's going to be really, really effective really, really quickly, and then you're going to drop down to above your baseline, but below what it was when you first had it. And then the second time you get it, it's going to help really, really quickly, and then it's going to get worse and worse and worse. But again, that baseline that you end up at is still going to be better than the baseline you had after your first treatment. Same thing again. In the third one, it's supposed to get really, really good really, really quickly. So I should be, you know, have a massive reduction in symptoms for the next few weeks. And then that reduction in symptoms is going to fall. The pain's going to come back. But once it levels out, it should be to like less pain. I just had a seizure again. It's because I didn't sleep very well last night. What was I saying? So, oh my god. I'm not going to cut any of this out. I used to, but now my camera died, so I am filming the end of that video, but also based on how many seizures I was having, it probably was for the best. Now, I would like to preface, I realised this after I'd filmed, the seizures weren't caused by the Botox, they were caused by my epilepsy. They are not related at all. The only reason I was having them was because I hadn't slept very well, and that makes me have more. It's been about 2 weeks since I've had my last round. I have successfully halved my dose of naproxen. So far so good. We'll see how it goes. Movement is back absolutely to normal in my face. I don't feel it at all. The movement probably actually is a little bit restricted, but that's kind of the point. But now I don't notice it. I can't feel it in my face like I could when I first got it. From my point of view, it's a few days of discomfort. It's a long day of travelling, and so far it is worth it. Now, how long that lasts, I don't know. The last few times it lasted a couple of weeks, but obviously it lasts a little bit longer every time, and this is my third and most likely final time of getting it. So it might last a little bit longer this time, but I don't know. If when you're watching this, if I posted the video a while ago, leave a comment asking if it's still working, and I'll tell you basically if it is still working. Prepare yourself that it is not a pleasant procedure, but do not be scared. I'm sure you've done more unpleasant things than this, not just medical procedures, but also life is just unpleasant sometimes, isn't it? You've done all that other hard stuff. You've dealt with the pain. That's the main thing. If you've dealt with that, then this is absolutely nothing compared to that. So do not worry, it is very, very quick. The side effects afterwards are temporary, and it could be very, very worth it. So I would encourage getting it. Obviously speak to your doctor, but from my point of view, I'm glad that I did it. And if the pain does come back in like a year or so time, I would consider doing it again, or talking to a doctor about what my options are for doing it again. Okay, yes, new videos roughly every other Wednesday. I'm working on it, getting back into this again. If you have any requests or questions, leave them down in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye!